Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and you're very welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. Hope you guys have had a good day. We've got another little midweek verdict going on here, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach the penultimate match week of the Premier League season 2020-20... No, wow, I've really got my ears wrong. 2021-22, Jesus fucking hell, I'm stuck in a time warp, lads. As usual, we've got our boxes out in front of us, and starting off with our green box, it can only really go to one man this week, and that is Kevin De Bruyne. An unbelievable performance contributing to a massive Manchester City win over Wolves in the race for the Premier League title. A 5-1 win for Manchester City at Molineux, a game in which Kevin De Bruyne managed to score 4 and really continue Manchester City's hot streak as they look to claim yet another Premier League title. And just to rub it in, after he scored his hat-trick goal after 25 minutes, De Bruyne did the Erling Haaland celebration, something that we're going to be seeing very soon in the Prem. Oh, Jesus. Man City were absolutely wonderful, but Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, it was another standout performance from him. I mean, clearly he's got 4 goals, and just seriously, what a player he is. Like, obviously, I've mentioned Erling Haaland. When he comes in next season, can you imagine him getting in on the end of them Kevin De Bruyne crosses? There was one Sterling missed 1 or 2 in the game where them balls are played across the box, and he's just mishit it or misjudged it. Erling Haaland bangs in 90% of them crosses. But we're not talking about him, we're talking about Kevin De Bruyne and his incredible individual performance. It was very much a case of, fine, I'll do it my fucking self. And he scored 4 unbelievable goals, really. Could have had a 5th as well when his left-footed shot hit off the post towards the end as well. He woke up, basically, and chose violence on that day, Kevin De Bruyne. And Liverpool fans are continuing to hope that whoever Manchester City face will be able to do them a bit of a solid, a bit of a favour. Wolves, however, certainly not added to that list. An absolute hammering, Kevin De Bruyne at the forefront of it, and he's continuing to improve his game somehow. And I wonder if, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts on this. Should Kevin De Bruyne be considered for the Ballon d'Or next year? Because, you know, he's certainly continuing to outdo himself with his performances, and I just wonder, does that warrant, you know, leading Manchester City to another Premier League title? Obviously still lacking in that success in Europe, but you just wonder, does that warrant a spot on at least the pedestal or the top 3 for the Ballon d'Or next year? Obviously you're looking at the likes of Benzema, the likes of Salah, but De Bruyne has been absolutely excellent once again. And I think, not just for this performance obviously, but this performance definitely highlighted why I think De Bruyne should definitely at least be up there come the Ballon d'Or rankings next season. Yellow box then, and Arsenal were given the chance to solidify their place and, you know, officially confirm it, in fact, their place in the Premier League's top 4, and hence returning to the Champions League for the first time in 5 years last night. But they absolutely bottled it against the prime bottlers, Tottenham Hotspur. I mean, it comes full circle, doesn't it? I will say there's an encouraging point in this game, and that is certainly when the initial penalty is given for, I don't know if it was Cedric or was it Holding, maybe a combination of both, taking down Heung-min Son. I do think this penalty is a little bit soft. Cedric certainly backs into Son and throws him off balance, and then he just kind of ends up being sandwiched in between himself and Holding. It's one of those you've seen them given, but it is a little bit soft, isn't it? If we're being fully honest with ourselves here, boys, I don't think if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be very happy. Certainly, Mikel Arteta, after the game, was not afraid to portray his dismay and overall just pure disappointment at the fact that that penalty was given. Harry Kane stuck it away. Of course he did, he always does. Kane then got a second before half-time, before a really flying start to the second half for Tottenham, thanks to Son getting his first of the game, his 21st in the Premier League all season, now only 1 goal behind the Premier League Golden Boot leader Mo Salah, which is why he was extra disappointed when Antonio Conte decided to take him off before the end of the game. But another big talking point of this game is obviously Rob Holding's red card, which I think really properly killed the game for Arsenal. I really didn't think they had any hope of getting back into it at that point. They were getting completely dominated and destroyed up until Rob Holding's red card, and after that, I mean, they may as well have just gone home after that, to be fair. Like, when you're already booked to make that challenge on Heung-min Son, what are you expecting to happen? Are you expecting the referee to go,
"So that's alright. That is fine.
He's got a good hairline, he's brought it back, I'm not going to send him off for that."
Ridiculous decision from Rob Holding to do what he did. And it really did cost Arsenal in the long run, because Gabriel Magalhaes then got injured. So I think Arsenal finished the game with centre-backs of Granit Xhaka and Tomiyasu. That could be a big worry. I think Ben White was only coming back from injury, hence why he was on the bench and didn't even come on when, you know, the going got tough and Gabriel got injured. I suppose Arsenal were already like 3-0 down at that point anyway, so there was no point in risking it. But it leaves it very interesting. It leaves only a point separating Arsenal and Tottenham going into the final 2 games of the season. And Chelsea, who we'll talk about in the final box, no, we're not getting stinker of the week this week, only need a point from their last 2 games, and obviously have the FA Cup final coming up this Saturday as well, which should be interesting. But what a result for Tottenham. I think the reason I'm putting this box or this game in this box is because Tottenham shocked me with how much balls they showed, quite frankly. I think they were absolutely excellent, right up for it from start to finish. The fans were well up for it as well, and they claimed a massive victory. And a couple of weeks ago, we'd have been saying Arsenal have the momentum and all that. I think the momentum has definitely switched, although Arsenal still have a point on Spurs. It's Spurs who are going into them last 2 games of the season with a better mentality, and I do think Spurs have easier fixtures than Arsenal in the final 2 games of the season. So it's going to be interesting. Who's going to fill up that 4th position? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. On to the final box then. Leeds United look like they're in big trouble, don't they? Chelsea back to win on ways with a 3-0 victory, an utterly dominant display. And the reason I put Leeds in here, not for the fact that they got battered by Chelsea, because I think a lot of people probably, even, despite Chelsea's form, I didn't predict this, but I think a lot of people probably would have predicted Chelsea to win this game and win it well. But it was just the fact that Leeds really did look like a championship side now, didn't they, in that game in particular. And it's been a while since, I don't think I've said that about Leeds since they've come up. They've always looked, well up for games. Look like they can go toe to toe with anyone and, match them in terms of running effort and endurance throughout 90 minutes. But they just look completely beat. And similar to the weekend's game against Arsenal where Luke Ayling was sent off early on, Daniel James kind of lets down his team again here with a shocking tackle on Mateo Kovacic. Little fucking prick might have... Well, he is definitely out of the FA Cup final, let's be honest, Mateo Kovacic. But just a stupid, high, ridiculous tackle from Daniel James, and he got his marching orders, and rightfully so. At the time I was a little bit like, ooh, that didn't look like a foul, let alone that. But then we seen the replay and it was... yeah, very obviously a red card for Daniel James. Mason Mount, Christian Pulisic and Romelu Lukaku all on the score sheet for Chelsea, and really leaving Chelsea in the best position of the 3 now, obviously, with only needing a point from the last 2 games. But the most important thing for Chelsea now coming up is the FA Cup final on Saturday. That should be fucking fun. But I do think Leeds are going to struggle to stay up at this point. I think it's between them and Burnley now. Everton have got a couple of wins under their belts, a point against Watford during the week as well. It leaves it open, it leaves it interesting, but I do think Leeds right now are looking like the team most likely to enter the Championship next season. And honestly, it's been a bit of a disaster for them all around this season, and Jesse Marsch was given a really, really tough job to come in and try and save this team after a team that was depleted and looking well under themselves or their usual standards that they set for themselves last season. They've looked well below that, Leeds United, this season, and I do think they are going to get relegated and join Watford and Norwich in the Championship next year. Alright then, boys, that is where I'm going to wrap it up. Make sure you do leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed. We've got a lot of content coming up over the next couple of weeks. Shy Talk Podcast is also returning, so make sure you click the first link in the description and subscribe over there. Let me know who you would have changed in any of the boxes, if you would have switched any of the boxes around. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. Leave a like in the video if you did enjoy, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you later.